Coming up on today's show, Kalen DeBoer made some comments about the quarterback battle that's coming up for Alabama in the springtime and going into next season for the Crimson Tide. Also, there's one scene from the Fox Nation six-part documentary that they're dropping right now called The Tide That Rises that I wanted to talk about. Jamarcus Shepard, I'm sure a lot of you guys might have seen it on social media, kind of, just chewing out the wide receivers. So I wanted to talk about that today on today's show. But let me know here in the comment section, are you guys as excited as I am for A-Day? If you are, spam me in the comment section of today's video. The most comments on this video today will get a shout out on a future video. All right, first up on today's show, Kalen DeBoer commented on the upcoming quarterback battle heading into the 2025 season for the Crimson Tide. He talked about all three quarterbacks, Ty Simpson, Keelon Russell, and Austin Mack as well. And look, man, just going into this A-Day, I am so excited. You got three quarterbacks right now on this Alabama roster, and all three of them are going to get an opportunity to shine during A-Day. You got to think Ty Simpson and Austin Mack are probably going to start A-Day. Most likely, right? They've been the guys that have been on the team the last couple of seasons, and they're going to get a ton of reps. With only three quarterbacks now on the roster, we are going to get an opportunity to really see how each one of these guys commands the offense. This is what Kalen DeBoer first said about Ty Simpson. He said, Ty obviously has been waiting for this time and stuck around, and I'm proud of him for doing that. And there's a level of just football that he's seen that will help him. Now, man, when it comes to Ty Simpson, he's been pretty decent in his time here at Alabama. I liked, some of the flashes that we've seen from Ty Simpson, but I will say as well, he's got to be better if he wants to be the starting quarterback for Alabama. Sitting right now at about 58% or so completion percentage. Hasn't turned the ball over except for that one fumble that he had down on the goal line. But I do think the running game for him is a little bit underrated. He's not Mac Jones, but he's also not Jalen Milroe either. He's not going to run the ball, 28 times a game. But I do think he's got some playmaking ability to his legs for him. And the football knowledge as well. Look, his dad is the head coach at UT Martin. He grew up in a football household. My biggest question for him is how does he handle pressure and blitz pickups, calling some of those pass protections at the line. I think that's one of those biggest things that Jalen Milroe struggled with this year. You talk about the offensive line not being very good, but we don't necessarily know some of the ins and outs. Was the protection, called to the left and then the blitz came to the right or from the right. I want to see how Ty Simpson does when he's got pressure in his face and he has to make some of these, plays kind of out of structure. Kalen DeBoer also touched on Austin Mack as well. He said, Austin, I think he's really had a nice fall. He's an extremely hard worker, and I think he's gained the respect of the team too by how he's gone about his business. He was working when a lot of guys probably wouldn't be, and that showed out. He accepted his role last year, and so the team, I think, really enjoys having him here. Now, Austin Mack, he is a redshirt sophomore now, transferred over from Washington, threw the ball only 3 times this year, but did have a very nice, beautiful touchdown pass to Rico Scott. I think that was in that Mercer game. Like I said, he reclassified to that 2023 recruiting class at only 17 years old. So while he might be a little bit younger, I do think he is mature, both mentally and physically as well. I mean, he's absolutely huge. 6'6", over 230 pounds as well. One thing I do think that can help Austin Mack in this quarterback battle is the Ryan Grubb hire. Grubb was the main recruiter for him at Washington, so he's got that relationship there. He knows how Ryan Grubb likes to operate and knows how he likes to call plays, and I think that does give him an advantage to winning this job, whether that's in spring camp for Alabama or sometime throughout the season. I do think Austin Mack does still have an opportunity to surpass Ty Simpson to be Alabama's starting quarterback next season. So let me know here at the pinned comment of today's video, guys. What is the percent chance that you guys think Austin Mack will win the quarterback battle for Alabama next season? That could be the first game of the year or sometime throughout the season. If he's starting the last game of the year, that, goes as well. So let me know what you guys think at the pinned comment of today's show. What is the percent chance that Austin Mack wins next year's quarterback battle? Now, Kalen DeBoer also talked about number 2 player overall in the 247 Sports Composite rankings, Keelon Russell. He said, and then obviously, Keelon comes in with just the success that he's had and the skill set that he has. There's a confidence level that he naturally brings. I think that any new player, I don't care what sport it is, and a freshman in particular is going to take, they're going to have highs and they're going to have lows. And so just be steady every single day. I think that's where his head's at. We'll make sure as a coaching staff that that's where it continues to be. I think in our system, we've had first-year guys come in and have a lot of success. But as a freshman still, and everything that comes along with being young, there's going to be some ups and downs, but a lot of it starts with the relationships and how do you carry yourself, and that's something that comes natural to Keelon. And you look at this quarterback depth chart right now, I mean, you got 2 5-stars now. Ty Simpson from that 2022 recruiting class, he has been in this system, not necessarily the system, but with this team and with these players for a few years now, man. He's going on to his last year, really reminds you back to when he was being recruited. He talked about Mac Jones and being a guy that waited his turn. You got to respect that about Ty Simpson. And then Austin Mack as well. He was number 230 overall, the number 16 quarterback in that class, but I think a lot of us really see some of those flashes and some of those shines from Austin, shining spots from Austin Mack as well, and then Keelon Russell, man. I'm not going to rule out Keelon Russell not starting for Alabama next season. I do think that it's not as likely, but man, we've seen crazier things. You think a couple years ago, what was that, 2015 was when Jalen Hurts came in and just kind of stunned everybody to win that starting quarterback job for Alabama a few years ago. So you never know what can happen, but man, just for Alabama fans, this is going to be a very exciting spring, and it's going to be a very exciting fall camp as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here, Fox Nation is dropping a 6-part series documentary on Alabama's 2024 season under first-year head coach Kalen DeBoer. And I honestly haven't gotten a chance to watch the full thing yet. I'm kind of working right now on getting a login for Fox Nation because it's behind the paywall. You got to have a subscription for it. But there is one clip right now going around social media that really does fire me up. This is what Jamarcus Shepard in a wide receiver group meeting. Look, man, he was just chewing out the wide receivers. He said, I'm tired of sugarcoating shit for people in this room anymore. I'm not sugarcoating. It's a telltale sign that the 2 receivers who have the most production in this room are the 2 taking notes right now. He was talking about Jeremy Bernard, and he was talking about Ryan Williams. It's a telltale sign that that's how it is. I'm sick of this shit. The ball goes in the air. We got to go want it. Everybody want to be cute. All these weak-ass haircuts we got. Shit's all pristine and, shit's all pristine and shit. Ain't nobody got that dog in them. Now, man, the haircut thing was kind of out of pocket from Jamarcus Shepard, but if you want to really strike a chord, you got to talk about some of the way that these kids look, right? So let me know here in the comments section, what is your confidence level in Alabama's wide receiver room going into 2025? Let me know what you guys think. Scale it for me 1 to 10 in the comments section for me right now. Now, look, Alabama's wide receiver room last year was just far too inconsistent. I love the fact that he called out some of these guys for being lackadaisical. There were some moments during that clip that really did just fire me up. Coach Shep was talking about the GPS data that they collect at practice from the, catapult things that the guys wear. Ryan Williams, as a freshman, ran over 8,000 yards in a single practice and topped out at over 21 miles an hour. Now, speed, that's whatever. Some dudes are faster than others. But look, players busting their asses at practice are the ones that are being the most consistent during games. It showed up last season on the field as well. The player-led accountability was just not there in this wide receiver core last year, and I think you could probably make the argument for the entire team as well. The whole, look, I'll turn it on when game time happens mentality really just irritates the hell out of me. You play how you practice. Nick Saban preached that constantly at Alabama. And you can't expect to play at full speed if you're going out and practice and just going half speed or 3/4 speed. That's just not how it works. Also, that's not making your teammates better either. Alabama is about being best on best. It's about grinding with your brothers. It's about iron sharpens iron mentality. Going out there half-ass versus half-ass isn't helping anybody on this team. And then if you go watch the clip, you see Caleb Odom in the background just rolling his eyes and having this just like, oh my God, like he's talking about GPS stats again. I get it, that's not necessarily football stuff, but you're talking about effort, and that's something that I think this wide receiver group just did not have a lot of last year. He also, talking about Caleb Odom, after games, he was retweeting beat reporters talking about he needs to get the ball more. You shouldn't expect to get the ball more when you're going out in practice and you're half-assing at practice, and the coaching staff sees that during practice. You talk about your quarterback last year in Jalen Milroe. He sees that during practice. You really think he's going to trust you to throw the ball to you during the game if you're going out there and just not really working hard at practice? Talk about the two guys that worked hard at practice, Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. Those were the only two guys that went out there during games and actually did a good job at a consistent basis. You go out there and you outwork other guys if you are not happy with your production. Look at this wide receiver room last year. You had Ryan Williams and you had Jeremy Bernard, and other than that, you had nobody else that was reliable to be able to get the ball to. I think Cole Adams, to an extent, was a little bit reliable, but he did get hurt throughout the season. So you think about that. You had Cole Adams that only played half the season, and Caleb Odom is getting, less yards than him. I do think that is very noteworthy because Caleb Odom, while he had a very lack of production last season, he did play a lot. He played in a lot of games. So, look, going into next season, I hope this wide receiver core just has more accountability. And you also kind of look at these guys right here, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, Caleb Odom. All those guys are gone. So, maybe when they hit the transfer portal, you're a little bit upset about Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, and even Caleb Odom hitting the transfer portal. But, man, you just look at their production last season, and then you also look at the fact that, they were being lackadaisical in practice and not doing things to the standard of Alabama football. I'm probably not going to miss them that much anymore. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. Chat Sports is going to the NFL Combine next week, so every time an Alabama player hits the podium, we will have those videos for you guys. So do not miss out. Make sure you guys hit that sub button for me right now.